Hey guys, I'm going to try to finish this up tonight in terms of my last video. I don't think I'm going to finish this header in this video. Looks like I'm going to get the collector ready, glued together and ready to sit and cure overnight. I've got everything out prepped as well as I can. Wanted to show you guys how I use my plastic welder. I know I preach this stuff to no end in all of my posts and whatnot. So, but yeah, I've never actually shown anybody on a video how I use it anyway and how it works, and I guess you'll see why I love it so much. So here you can see the other one, half of the side that I've already somewhat finished. It's glued together. Like I said in the first video, I'll trim that down, but I'm gonna wait till this thing's assembled all the way to know where to cut evenly. And I made that side the same way I'm gonna make this side. So this plastic welder, you gotta be careful. If you spill it, everything styrene within sight is pretty much gonna be carnage. I've had it happen, so be very, very careful. It literally melts the styrene it's on. It works pretty quick and it'll evaporate, but at the same time, it's all based on how thick you go, and it's all in a little bit of technique, which you'll see in a minute how I stick it together. I don't really just stick it and press it. As you can see, go back and forth as the glue evaporates and cures and dissolves the styrene all at the same time. That's where the welding effect comes in. So I'm letting it pretty much just dissolve into itself. Whoops. That's the beauty of it too. It's really forgiving. It doesn't just dry straight up like super glue. And again, the added benefit of the weld look that it gives, that's why I don't use solder, that's why I don't use super glue, that's why I prefer styrene. Hands down. Alright, and as you can see, I'm just adjusting this, getting it to the right angle. If it's focusing, I'm paying attention to my work more so than the video, so I apologize if all of this isn't focused. Alright, we'll cut that end off, but that looks like a good enough connection for what I'm going to need it for. But so yeah, that's generally that. Boom. See how quickly also it bonds. If I want to break this loose right now, I can, but at the same time, it's still held on pretty solid. And, you know, you can check it from all angles and make sure it's all good. That's how you should always do it. Eyeball engineering is a good friend of mine. Dubbed the term. It's stuck with me ever since. Old Tonio from the Facebook groups and old school automotive forum days. Alright, let me see. And at this point you can see the manifold I have trimmed back with this little saw blade. Excel makes these. I'm not sure the tooth count, but they work really well. It has a lot of control, and I used a factory header that comes with one of the other kits, and as you can see also, I just used that to measure up to see where I should cut for the flange. I'm going to make this 4:1 come back a little further, which is really typical for a lot of the aftermarket ones, and since I don't know how this 1:1 exactly fits on the car it's going on, we're just going to go ahead and compensate and do the best we can. So that's the beauty of the modeling thing. There's always room for forgiveness if you leave yourself a little bit. Alright, I'm going to see if I can set up the initial... This is a little more difficult with a camera in my way. Let's try this. You're not going to... I always try to glue areas that won't be visible to the naked eye once it's all completed. Crap. Generally want to touch these surfaces while the glue is still wet. Like I said, it does evaporate quick, and if that's what happened here. It evaporated too quickly to weld, so let me do that again. I pretty much just brush it right on. Excuse me. This is all going together as one joint anyway, so I'm actually sitting here and thinking to myself that I should have sanded some different angles. It's been a while since I've put one of these together, so I'm kind of improvising as I go. This may be something I have to correct and redo. I may be able to correct it without redoing it, so I guess we'll see. I'm going to leave it like this because leaving this piece attached right here gives me something, as you can see, to hang on to. And once this is all dry, I can sand this to shape, and if it gives me a good enough shape that I'm looking for, boom, we're done. And as you can see, I've already got a little bit larger pipe, which is 0.100 rod, and I've cut out a 0.020 styrene strip, and I've sanded it to the shape of a flange. That's essentially I'm gonna cut it here, and then I'm gonna attach it right there. Give just a little bit of that collecting into one, and pretty much like a 2.5-inch outlet like most of those Hondas have, and it'll make for a great connection for a catback exhaust. So it'll actually go on like that, but anyway, it'll look a lot better. And I just realized also did not overlap these correctly. I'm glad I caught that. Still gotta get used to shooting these videos and paying attention to what I'm doing at the same time. Having to hypertask quite a bit. Okay, well, I'll fix that a little bit more when I finish the video, but you guys get the idea. I'll end up trimming this ultimately once I have a piece connected here, and you know, I'll cut that flush so I can attach it to the manifold like so, and you can kind of get an idea of how that's going to look. So it starts coming together. But that is the last video I can do right now for this. Hopefully the next one I do, maybe it'll be a completed version, or, you know, getting this thing all the way wrapped up. Thanks for following, and that will do it.